Okay. Just waiting for some people to come on. So today I'm going to do a live about the Witches Almanac. We'll see if anybody comes on. If nobody comes on, that's cool too. I'm going to save it and you can watch this later. I decided to do it live because I figured it would be easier to do it live because this is actually, I realized it's not backwards when you hold up the print. So we're going to be doing the Witches Almanac, and I'm going to talk about this as I promised I would instead of doing a recorded, edited one. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Notice I have all these little sticky notes. So I haven't read the whole thing, but it is dated from, let's see if I can get it in the camera. So it is dated from spring 2021 to 2022. So it starts with the spring equinox. It starts in March 20th of 2021. So you still have time to purchase this on Amazon or the witchesalmanac.com. If you're interested in this, I am not an affiliate, just so that everybody knows and so that is clear. I'm not an affiliate. I'm not getting anything out of this. It's just something that I had wanted for myself. This is the first time I've ever gotten this. I got this for Christmas, actually, for a present from my brother. Actually bought this for me. And I am trying to use this to improve my practice this year, along with the Magic of I, which I have around here somewhere. I'm not quite sure. I think I have both of them. Yeah, I do. I have them within arm's reach. So then I have the Magic of I, which I use daily, which I already went over. And if I can link it, I'll link it later. And then Llewellyn's Magical Almanac. So I do use those on the regular as well. So I'm going to kind of preview through this for you guys today. And I haven't read the whole thing because there is a lot in here. There's a lot of great articles. I'll probably only be here for maybe 15 minutes, maybe less. And so this apparently, from my understanding, every Witches Almanac has kind of a theme. And this theme is the sun, rays of hope. And I guess it's their 50th. It says issue 40. But when I was reading it, I swear it was talking about it's their 50th. So maybe I'm wrong there. I might be incorrect. But so I made some notes about what makes this one unique compared to this one and in others that I've read. And then I also made some notes about what I like about it. So I'm going to share that with you guys today. So what makes this unique, for one, is the dating. This one's not a calendar year. It's spring to spring. So it's March 20th to March 19th is how this one runs. It reads and presents like a farmer's almanac. So if you're familiar with a farmer's almanac, it's very much like that. Like the articles in it. Let me see if I can find one. So it kind of looks like a farmer's almanac as compared to the way the Llewellyn's does. Llewellyn's is very magical looking. It's very more like a witch type book. So there is kind of a very, one's more artsy, one's more definitely almanac type looking. This one has, the Witches Almanac has sunrise and sunset times, and I did mark that off, so I'm going to find that for you guys and show it. Let's see if I can find that, because I did make little notes for everything. The sunrise, sunset, where are you? Here it is. So it has it, and it has it by all different time areas. So this is the sunrise. Oh, a little awkward. On this side. sunrise, sunset times. And it talks about, it's from Providence, San Francisco, Sydney, and London. So it's all different areas of the world. So it shares that, which I have not seen. The Magic of Eye doesn't have that, and Llewellyn's doesn't have that. So that's unique to this, and I found that really interesting for people that might want to work with the sunrises or the sunsets in their magic with their working. I don't really do that myself, but maybe I will. Maybe I'll keep that in mind. It also talks about window on the weather. So what window on the weather is, it's a forecast of weather for each month. So I'm going to share that. So for example, and it looks like this. So it's for every single month. Here's the month of March. I'm trying to just make sure it's in the camera. And so March, it says March 2021, as the second year of the solar cycle 25 begins, the sun's ultraviolet output remains relatively weak, favoring late season snowfalls from the mid-Atlantic states north to New England and west through the Great Lakes. Such weather behavior highlights how efficient nature is by providing nitrogen in precisely the time that the natural fertilizer can be useful for plant growth. A wetter than normal weather pattern likely persists throughout much of the South, from Dallas to Atlanta and through the Carolinas. Colder than normal weather is also likely farther north into New England. Weather systems usually advance slowly during spring, with the current beginning of the solar cycle 25 also slowing the pattern. A late season snowfall is also likely in Chicago. The West Coast remains stormy, with wind-swept gales from Seattle to Portland. Early in the month, California enjoys generally sunny and mild weather. So this, if you're an international person, it doesn't cover international. It covers the United States. So it probably, if you're looking for something that is a prediction of weather for your part and you're an international person, this would not be appropriate for you. It covers all of the United States and only the United States. So it has one for every single month, and that's what's called the window on the weather section. I wanted to just give a little preview of one example of that. So that's for the month of March 2021. And then it has something called, and I know I'm not going to say it right. It's probably, I think it's pronounced presage. Hold on. Presage. I think that's how you pronounce it. And this is actually really cool. What it is basically like the window of the weather, but it's a breakdown for each astrological sign for this entire almanac. So I'm going to read Scorpio to you guys because I'm a Scorpio, but it encourages people to read. So for instance, it's okay. So while exploring what this means to you, start with the forecast for your sun sign. It tells you to read your sun sign. Then read the forecast for your moon sign, which addresses the personality, emotional needs, and instinctual responses. And then next turn to the forecast for your rising sign, the ascendant. So it tells you how to use it. This part tells you how to use it. And basically, I'm going to have to go back in a minute, but basically what it does, so this is Scorpio. This is all of Scorpio. So an entire zodiac sign takes up 2 full pages. And what it does, so Scorpio, it goes from spring 2021 to spring 2022. And it goes and breaks it down, the entire prediction. It's sort of like a horoscope, but not exactly. So it starts off subtle and intense. Scorpio is surrounded by aura of mystery. And then it goes on to the vernal equinox, welcomes Mercury. And it kind of tells you what to look out for as a Scorpio. April 4th to 18th, wellness is in focus. And then I'm just skipping ahead. October 7th to November 3rd brings encouraging monetary opportunities. And it explains it. So it gets really detailed. I'm just jumping around a little bit so that it gets really in detail about it, which is really cool. So each sign has this, and it recommends that so Scorpio is my sun sign. So it recommends that you read your sun sign, your moon sign, and your ascendant. And then it even goes into so it walks you through from this spring all the way to the next spring. And then it talks about health. It talks about love. It talks about spirituality. And it talks about finance. So it's basically like a forecast of what you can expect due to these planets and the upcoming transitions and that kind of thing, depending on your sign. And that's why it recommends, because our astrology charts, for those of you, and I'm not an astrologer, but I do dabble in it a little bit. For those of you that aren't super knowledgeable, we have more than just our zodiac, our sun sign. So I'm much more than just Scorpio. I have a Libra moon, I have a Capricorn ascendant, and you guys have all things in your charts as well. So every planet lands in something. So that so that I found really, really cool. And going back to when the presage starts, they have astrological keys, which is actually more in depth in a different way. Let's see if I can get in there. Than it is in the Magic of I or in the Llewellyns. So there's astrological keys that cover signs of the zodiac, the type of expressions, celestial bodies. It talks about glossary of aspects, the elements, the qualities, the houses. Down here it talks about the houses. And then on the second page, it tells you when the eclipses will be. And then over here, it really gets into the retrograde planets. Now, remember, it's from spring to spring. And I find that really cool. And it really gets into it. It talks about, so for instance, Mercury retrograde impacts technology, travel, and communication. Those who have been out of touch return. So like your ex-lovers or ex-friends. Revise, review, and tread familiar paths affected Gemini and Virgo. And then it tells you the dates. Saturn retrograde, it tells you what it does to you. Uranus retrograde, it tells you what it does to you. And it tells you the dates, which the Magic of I doesn't tell you that. So I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. I will be loving this part right here, the retrograde part. So I'm really liking that. What else makes it? So this is what I'm going over right now is what makes this part unique, which makes this book unique that you don't find in the other two that I've reviewed. The next part is the reviews, which is towards the back of the book. It has a whole section of reviews, a few pages actually. And what the reviews is, it's books that they've read, books that people on staff have read. So there's one that's A Witch Hunt, A Traveler's Guide, and it tells you all about it. It's from different publishers. So they've done Wiser Books, Destiny Books, Llewellyn Books, so that it's not like they prescribe to just one publisher. Another one is The Slavic Witchcraft, Paganism in Depth, A Polytheistic Approach, Familiars in Witchcraft. So it just goes on and on. The list it's 3 or 4 pages. So there's several books here. And it's an in-depth review. It's not just a quick little summary. So I really like that. And they even talk about an oracle deck, which is cool. So that's very unique. I haven't seen that in other books, which I found very interesting. And then they also have like a letter to the editor section, which I believe is also kind of standard for a farmer's almanac, but I've never sat and just read a farmer's almanac before. So I'm not 100% sure if that's a farmer's almanac thing or not. And then they have something called a marketplace. So the Robin's Nest, I know, is a witchy place near me, kind of like an hour from me. The Veiled Crow also is fairly near me. And so these are places that are advertised, that you can advertise yourself if you have like a shop in this area, that you can put your stuff in there, or even if it's not in the area. So that's a whole bunch of different things that you can put your stuff in there. And then at the very back, the troll shop I've been to. I love the troll shop. They have these weird little troll dolls that literally look like that. They're actually pretty fun, and it has a very fun witchy vibe. And then they have a section where you can actually fill stuff out and send in and be like, hey, I'm a business. I'd like to be part of this marketplace. So I thought that was really cool. So that's very unique as well. You don't find that in the other almanac that I have, or in the, and it goes on and on. There's hoodoo. So I really liked that. So we're already at 16 minutes. Apparently there's a lot to say about this. I took a lot of notes because I wanted to be focused. I didn't want to be all over the place. So the other stuff that I want to talk about, there's things that I like so far that I have looked at, because I skimmed this and made sure that I took very detailed notes. So one of the things I like so far is this Moon Gardening by Phase section. It's really detailed. I like gardening when the weather is appropriate. It's not, and if this starts in mid-March, by the time it's mid-March here, I should be able to start gardening. I like growing lemongrass and herbs and my own vegetables when I can. And I really enjoyed this. This was very, very detailed. So they do have one in the Magic of Eye, but it's really minimal. So I enjoyed that. The way the moon calendar, they have a moon calendar. So I really liked the way this was set up. It goes zodiac to zodiac. And I found that really helpful in the way that they break it down. I thought that was very interesting. It's different than the way the other ones looked. They do have an article. Let's see if I can find it. Did I mark it off? I don't know if I marked it off. I may not have marked. Oh, there it is. They have an article about the year of the ox. So they're trying to be inclusive, including all the types of different areas of magic, and not just in different areas of the zodiac, and not just one type of area. I already talked about the sunset and sunrises, the astrological keys. Okay. And then the last part, all the different kinds of articles. So they do also have the moon cycles in there, but that wasn't unique because everybody has moon cycles in theirs. So, and they have all sorts of articles. So I'm going to go back to the beginning so I can just show you the content so you can see. So at the very, very front of the page, it shows you the holidays. I don't know if I'm in far enough. It shows you all the holidays, and then there's a table of contents with all the articles and the resources. And it's literally 2 pages of contents, which I can't see what I'm doing. So hopefully it's on camera. So some of the articles I really liked. They had one about the Ankh. They had one about sunspots, kitchen witchery, divination. They have some stuff about tarot, unique points of view on astrology. They have stuff on anatomy of a witch, plant, all different scattered throughout, all different kinds of plants, sigils. So there's a lot of stuff in here that's very in-depth and more detailed than your typical, just like, oh, here's a basic spell for you. Let's see if I can find one. Ectoplasm, stuff about ectoplasm. So I haven't read everything. The divining rod. This is absolutely going to be something that will go into my collection of reference books and things that are interesting and things that I'll use in the future to look at. And it is worth to me just alone, like the astrology keys and the Mercury retrograde. There's stuff about mermaids. And there's a whole section about crystal quartz. You can never have enough information about crystals as far as I'm concerned, because I use a lot of it. Bones of witchcraft, a lot of astrology about this star, the Betelgeuse star. I think it's pronounced Betelgeuse. So there's a ton, and Tarot of the Hermit. There's a ton of stuff. It's chock full. So this place is actually, it's published in Providence, Rhode Island, which is my state. My state is Rhode Island. And I didn't even know that when I picked this out online. I picked this off of Amazon. I'll link it below where you can find it on Amazon. And it's actually, when they have in here about inquiries, it's to Newport, Rhode Island, which I absolutely love Newport. And I'm just going to hold up the preface, because I thought it was so awesome. So I hope you guys can actually see that. I'm just going to be quiet for a minute so you can look at it. Okay, so you can pause it and read that if you're interested in it. It's all about how life has been unstable, and there's been a lot of concerns, and bringing in the sun is helpful and things like that. So I found that really, like, it's not just putting out some book that's just like, here's another book. We're not going to acknowledge that the times have been difficult. So I really liked that as well. So that is about it today. Stay tuned for my next video. I have a surprise for everybody for next time. I'm not even sure what I'm going to do yet exactly. I'm still planning it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a surprise guest. So stay tuned for that. I don't even know what the topic's going to be. Haven't even decided. No idea what the topic will be, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to have somebody on here as a guest. So that's all you're getting for until next time. And that's it. So thank you for watching. Leave comments below. I will link this. And remember, I am not affiliated. So which one do I like the best? It is still to be determined. This one I use the most because it's a planner. And I've already manifested a bunch of stuff I've already written in it. But this one, I've recently commented on the video that I did because they were talking about putting black tourmaline in nail polish, and don't do that. Don't put black tourmaline in any kind of fluids. It dissolves, and when it dissolves, it becomes toxic. So I don't know why they recommended that. I hadn't read this whole thing, and I still haven't. I don't know why that slipped through and why that was allowed, but I don't want to be promoting anything that tells people to do something that's dangerous. So don't do that. Don't put black tourmaline in fluids, please. That's bad. I'm not sure about nail polish because it's a chemical, but just don't do it. And then the Witches Almanac. So happy full moon, everybody. Take a bath, get outside, charge your crystals, get some moon water, meditate, do some divination, ground yourself. I hope that helps. See you all next time. Bye.